Good evening. My name is Mary Maslowski. I'm the chair of the Harwich Historic District and Historical Commission. Calling to order the meeting for Wednesday, October 16th, 2024 at 6 p.m. We are holding the meeting here at Town Hall at 732 Main Street in the small hearing room. Under Mass law, if anyone present is intending to audio or video record the meeting, we ask that you let the chair know at this time. Hearing none, we will open the meeting with, we'll start with a roll call.
Zalisak.
Brendan Lowney.
Paul Doan.
And as I said, Mary Maslowski, I'm the chair. For any of the matters before us this evening, a 4-0 vote is required as we're a permitting board, so we are at our minimum quorum. So the first matter on the agenda tonight is, I will open, is HH 2024-12. It's Krista Rabi, owner, who has filed a notice of intent. The project proposes a partial demolition to replace a foundation. The structure is over 100 years old, according to the town assessing records, and is located at 1677 Orleans Road. It is map 114, parcel P2-0. Is anybody here for the applicant? You want to come forward, and if you could sign in and state your name for the record, please.
Jamie Klein, Kleinhouse Lifting Construction.
Krista Raby, the owner.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming before us this evening. If you could walk through the application for us, would appreciate that.
Sure. We are, we applied for a building permit to replace foundation due to the foundation being compromised. It was over 100 years old, so it triggered historical. The foundation is caving in, literally. And it's presently a cinder block foundation.
Okay.
Seek permission to put a full cellar underneath. You're not changing anything cosmetic on the as far as like windows, anything like that. The windows in the there will be windows in the basement, vinyl windows.
Okay. Who'd like to start? Paul, do you have any questions?
No questions, no.
Brendan?
Maybe just a comment, on older homes, we always talk about brick veneer, but with this being a concrete block, I don't think that would even pertain to this lift of this house. So I have no questions other than that.
And when I drove by, certainly there's
You can't even see that it's almost buried in the ground. In a
There's
way.
no grade. Yeah, you can, all you see is shrubs. Lynn, any
questions?
questions?
And I will note the chimney is being saved.
Oh, really?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Great. We are in a public hearing. Are there any questions or comments from the audience? Yes. If you could sign in and state your name for the record, sir.
Can I stay seated here? Just
You can. You absolutely can. As long as you speak loudly. We need to pick you up on the microphone.
Ted Nelson is my name, and I'm a neighbor across Pleasant Bay Road from where the Rabbies are, and also own a very historic home. And we ourselves had to do a move of our house and build a whole new foundation underneath it, etc. So we know all the work that goes into taking care of an old home, and I know Paul does as well, and others. So we would encourage you to be as beneficial as you can to the applicants.
Thank you for that.
Right.
Anyone else with questions or comments? Is the board ready to close the public hearing?
So moved.
All right, Lynn has moved to close the public hearing. Do we have a second?
Second the motion.
Lynn has made the motion. Paul has seconded. All those in favor? Closing the public hearing.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. And would somebody like to take a stab at the decision?
Sure. Motion to approve case number HH 2024-12, filing date September 5th, 2024, hearing date October 16, 2024. Property is located at 1677 Orleans Road, map 114, parcel P2-0. Owners are Todd and Krista Rabi, same applicants. Recording information BK27310, page 345. Year built 1922. Description of work is to propose a partial demolition to replace the foundation. Historical significance is listed on the town's historic property inventory. The proposed demolition would not destroy or substantially diminish the historic value. Determination, no demolition delay period imposed. Conditions, none.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second the motion.
Motion's been made by Brendan, seconded by Paul. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Great job of saving the chimney.
All right, we will sign the decision, and the building department will know tomorrow.
Okay,
All
great.
right?
Thank you, have a good night.
Thank you, you as well.
Mary, we wouldn't have that as a condition, the chimney, because it wasn't even in the application, so it wouldn't even be part
I
of it.
wouldn't have,
Correct. Yeah, I didn't see that.
yeah, I wouldn't have in that circumstance. Okay, the next matter on our agenda is, I'll call to order the public hearing for HH 2024-13. It is the Town of Harwich applicant, Joanne Brown, has filed a certificate of appropriateness. The project proposes a sign replacement. The structure is in the historic district and is over 100 years old according to the state and town assessing records, and is located at 735 Main Street, map 41, parcel E1-0. Hello, and it's nice to see you. If you could both just state your name for the record for us.
I'm Joanne Brown. I'm representing the library. I'm one of the library trustees.
My name is Joseph Scott. My wife and I own J&J Sign Company.
Okay,
We are proposing to replace the sign on the rear of the building.
okay,
It's currently made out of mahogany. We're going to replace it exactly as it is. The only difference is we're looking to use marine grade PVC. The reason behind it is that it doesn't rot. It'll look the same as it did. It just prevents them from having to replace it in 20 years. All they're going to have to do is just a repaint. But it's going to have the same exact look. It's going to have a black gloss oil-based background. Up there currently is what's called smalt, which is little glass pieces. We're going to do the same thing in 23 karat gold leaf.
and how high up is it? Just,
Roughly
It's high,
20,
right?
22 feet, roughly,
yeah,
something
so,
like that.
so we're not talking about a sign that somebody's gonna walk by at eye level?
No,
No,
So,
not at all.
Yeah. Okay, so
A
who,
plane, if you're flying by, you,
okay.
True.
All right, Lynn, we'll start with you with questions.
No questions.
Brendan?
Just my own edification, is there a difference between 100% PVC and marine grade? Probably not.
There probably isn't.
Is
I
not.
just know that, so in the sign industry, we use marine grade because it's outdoors. It deals better with salt. I think it's a little bit more firmer. There's not as much air in it, but I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
But it's plastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be stronger than an AZAC material where it won't
Correct.
warp because of the black paint and
It's
the
not going to warp.
UV light.
That's why we use a little bit thicker. We use 3/4 inch.
Yeah,
It just gives it some more rigidity.
okay.
Mr. Doan?
just a couple of things, I guess. So, so the sign that's going up there is going to be basically a plastic of artificial,
Correct. It's like what you would see on most houses, like a lot of people use AZEK for trim.
AZEK, yeah.
Yep, it's typically,
Same.
it's the same exact component. Basically, I can just get it in 10-foot sheets, and then we're gonna piece the sign together, so it'll all be one piece. But yeah, it's plastic essentially.
Yeah, it's not as aerated as some like decking material.
Yeah.
The 100% PVC, it's a harder material than the AZAC.
Yeah.
Where the AZAC will have more flex.
Okay.
That's why I asked that
I was
question
just-
about the difference between the two.
Gotcha.
And you're doing 3/4, not 5/4?
Yeah, I'm doing 3/4.
Okay.
And I guess there was never any thought of putting the name up as Broadbrooks Free Library, right? Is that officially a done deal?
That, as far as the name,
The
I mean,
name.
we could change the name. We'd probably have to resubmit a building permit application and come back here for another meeting if we wanted to change the name. We were just gonna do exactly what was up there. So
Ginny,
that's,
Ginny, would you like to address?
Yeah, I'm the library director. Yeah. We could have it say Broadbrooks if we wanted to really confuse people. No, it's been, when the town, well, when the library was first created, it was Broadbrooks, that was the original family name.
Right.
It was no longer their name then, it hadn't been for, I don't know, a century maybe. But anyway, so it went back and forth in the late 1800s. It was Broadbrooks, and it was Brooks, then it was Broadbrooks. And then when the town adopted it, accepted the donation of the library, I guess I would say, in 1910, it's been Brooks Free Library since then. The sign, the letterboard sign along the front of the library does say Broadbrooks Free Library. You really don't see it because of the trees, but that one, it does have the old historic name on it. I don't know how or why, you know, when the letterboard signs were first put there, but this one is nice because people coming up Bank Street see it. If it says Broadbrooks, they're gonna be very confused. We already have
Well, you know,
GPS
I've never
sending them
been
to
in a
Main Street
position-
and Howardsport. We don't need more confusion.
I've never been in a position before where I could actually try to insist on Broadbrooks being the name. Now I am in such a position. My first job in Howard was working at the Broadbrooks Free Library, and at the time, the Broadbrooks sign was still there. It's you say it's still there, but it's today it says Brooks. But originally, the Broadbrooks name was there, and I've always 1803 was when the family changed the name from Broadbrooks to Brooks. But it was strongly felt within the family by some members that the name should never have been changed. And I always thought Broadbrooks was a more unique name and more appropriate because that was their original name, Broadbrooks. So it's only because I'm now sitting in this chair and have the ability to convey this tidbit of information.
Well, then,
That's why I just asked the question. I knew it wouldn't happen. But
Too late.
nevertheless,
you should always enter from the front of the library.
right, Broadbrooks, yeah. Thanks.
We could put a sign in front of your house, Mr. Doan, that directs people.
Now,
To the Broadbrooks.
To Broadbrooks.
but when you leave this meeting tonight and you travel up into Howard Center and you go past the old parsonage,
Yeah.
which had been given to the church by Sarah Broadbrooks when she died in 1899, Sarah had Broadbrooks emblazoned on the name of the house there. So you look at it on the second floor, 1899, Broadbrooks.
Well, I will comment that while I respect your opinion on that, I think if the town accepted it and named it Brooks Free Library, we should probably respect that for the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Besides,
Plus-
we don't want to change all the letterheads there.
Just my 2 cents. Any other comments?
3-1, you've got the
So I would say, you know, if it was closer to eye level or anything else, I don't know that I'd be as excited about although we do have some other PVC signs in the historic district, but it's very rare that we're replacing old wooden ones these days. But it's so high up, and it just makes sense to do the one and do the marine grade. So, is there anybody in the public that wishes to speak or comment or ask questions? Hearing none, is the board ready to close the public hearing?
I can't stall it any longer.
Second.
All right, a motion's
Mr. Doan won't second it, I'll do that.
motion's been made by Lynn, seconded by Brendan, to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries to close the public hearing. We do need 4 votes for it to pass.
I know.
Okay.
I have a critical vote here.
So would anybody like to propose a motion for the application? Brendan?
Motion to approve case number HH 202413, filing date September 5th, 2024, hearing date October 16, 2024, map and parcel and address 735 Main Street, map 41, parcel E1-0. Owner is Town of Harwich, applicant is Joanne Brown. Recording information 9770, page 33. Brief description of the work. The project proposes a new sign replacement. It is historically significant. It is listed on the town's historic property inventory. The proposed demolition would not surely significantly diminish the historic value. Determination, no demolition delay period imposed, and no conditions.
Okay. So Brendan has made a motion. Is there a second?
I guess I better do it.
Paul
Second.
seconded. I heard it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. So it is approved.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a wonderful night.
You too.
I'll bring you one. I have one in my truck.
Okay. All right. The next matter on the agenda is HH 2024-14. Samuel Speakman, owner, has filed a notice of intent. The project proposes to raise the home and replace the foundation, windows, siding, and roof. The structure is over 100 years old, according to the town assessing records, and is located at 80 Miles Street, map 14, parcel B8-2. Please state your name for the record.
Sam Speakman.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for coming this evening. If you could kindly walk us through your application.
Starting with the foundation, there is little to none at this moment.
Okay.
There's a small Cape Cod cellar under the original portion of the home. Other than that, there's remnants of some bricks and rocks and such. So the goal would be is to lift it up, and form and pour a new foundation underneath. And from there, the sidewall windows were deteriorating, falling off. There was actually some plywood installed when I purchased it to keep the rodents out, because apparently they had made their way in multiple times. So basically the envelope of the building needs to be replaced.
So is this all existing currently? This is your existing layout?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Brendan, you want to start with any questions?
Just a quick question about windows. There's no door or window schedule. What was your plan for windows?
I was hoping to do like a 2 over nothing, if possible.
Yeah.
I reached out a couple times and tried to figure out if I needed to bring in samples and then I just got the sheet that you guys hand out that has all the basic, what you're kind of looking for. But my goal was to do a white clapboard in the front, cedar shingles on the sides and the rear, with a black vinyl window with a 2-light over nothing below it.
And will they be applied grills as opposed to between the
They would
glass?
be between the glass.
Between the glass. 80. I'm good for right now. Just wondering.
Okay, Lynn, do you have any questions?
Do any of the bricks in the foundation show at all?
Very little. Very little. On one side, you might be able to see 1 or 2 courses, and that's about it.
Were you planning on doing a brick veneer in those areas to
What would,
replace what's there?
if that was, I think it was 1860s originally.
Yeah,
Would brick or native stone be, what would the period correct?
that's, yeah, I think you're right on
I
that
would-
time period, so that's kind of tricky.
I was going to veneer, gonna ask the question one, but I would like to veneer it with like a natural field stone, if that was acceptable. Or if red brick was the more period correct, then I would go that route.
I mean, I think I'm okay with either.
Just as long as it's just not plain concrete.
Paul, do you have any questions?
Well, I don't know if I do or I don't. I have questions if I'm correct in the site that I visited. I'm wrong if I didn't visit the right site, but and in that case, I don't have any questions. But the site that I stopped in is a site that's been leveled, is that right? And you've got some metal supports basically for the foundation.
Yep.
So why in the application are we talking about there's no demolition? Is that what I understand here? No demolition of the property?
So I wouldn't call it demolition, I'd call it removing, replacing siding, removing,
I mean,
replacing roofing
basically,
windows.
basically the plan is to just get everything out of there, right? And put a new foundation in and a new structure.
Well, no, the existing structure is still there with all the existing
Oh,
framing.
the existing structure's still there, but is the existing structure going to remain?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you might be looking at a different property.
No, I think you're looking at the correct one. There's, you can, if you went inside or
Yeah,
even if you looked from the
81,
outside.
the one that's at the front.
Yep.
Yeah, there's an
There's all
82
steel,
in back.
there's steel beams and everything right next to it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that structure will go up in the air. There'll be a foundation,
Yeah.
it'll go back down.
Okay.
And the original structure from
When
the.
I looked at it, it appeared as though that building was sort of left there because it needed approval to get totally removed.
No.
But the process would be to remove it entirely.
No. No. So there's no, we're not asking for any permits for demolition. I am looking for a new foundation, sidewall roofing, the original frame from the original structure, which we can't really tell which one's the older one, whether it's the gambrel or the Cape side. Either one of them is all staying. The framing itself is all staying, all the floor joists, whatever siding is in decent shape. Some of the siding is, there's not much left of it, so we had to put a course of plywood over it just to get, so that it will hold water.
And there's a garage associated to the left as you face the
The
building.
garage was built, I believe, in maybe the 50s or 60s, so really, that is connected to, well, it's somewhat connected to the main house.
Yeah.
Any sort of work that'll be done there will match the historical quality, I would say, of what the main house is going to be. But the main house,
Okay,
there's no attempt or there's no ideas of tearing that down. That the goal is to keep that intact, everything that we can to make it safe and meet today's code, and basically rebuild it the best we can with leaving everything that we can.
So just to clarify on one of Paul's points, for the demo delay bylaw, for us, anything that gets removed is considered demolition under our bylaw. So even if you're removing a shingle, even if you're cutting out a door, cutting out a window, unless it is, like for like. So, so looking at pouring the new foundation, typically we do ask for
I was gonna have you come back to the
full,
video.
yeah, full divided light, at least on the street side. They can be seen because it's.
Say that again?
So on the older homes, we generally ask for a full divided light on the windows.
I don't know, that you'll have to,
So it's an applied grill versus
Applied grill,
an
yes, you
between.
cannot remove it.
okay.
Okay.
So.
So an applied grill on the outside of the window? Or
Yes.
you're saying in between the glass?
No, he's saying we're saying on the front of the window.
So
So
applied grill, so Anderson window, for example, they do an applied grill.
Okay.
They do between the glass as well, and they do removable on the inside.
Okay,
if
so
you do
applied would
if
be
you
on
do
the
the
outside.
applied, it's
Yep.
really going to come on both, and then there's a spacer bar in the middle.
Okay.
So you have full divided light and simulated divided light, but that's Anderson.
Okay.
Other brands.
Mhm.
So that's why it would be nice to know what brand window you were using. We can guide you better.
I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm open to whatever suggestions come
So-
my way.
so
So I'm not,
typically-
you know, none of this stuff I'm like married to. Like I said, if you said that period would be red brick on the foundation, that's fine with me. If you wanted a certain the certain style window, I can't guarantee the Anderson, but I
Yeah, I
understand
think
what
we
you're
could pick
saying.
the style window.
Yeah,
close.
yep. And if you wanted the grill, I don't remember the terminology used, but exterior,
Yeah.
hard mounted so that it's not going to be removed. I'm fine with that.
I think
too.
that's typically what the board asks for when it comes to older homes
And that's
and
what we'll
and the
use.
demos.
Great.
So,
Great. And then roof is going to be architectural asphalt,
Yeah,
like a certainty.
black probably. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There was never a thought of replacing the structure in your plan?
I mean, I can't. I would lie if I said I didn't think about it for a minute or two, but that was about as far as it went.
It would seem as though it would, from a cost standpoint, both now and a return standpoint in the future, far more sensible than try to maintain or make that
Yeah.
look.
There's something about tearing something down that's been there that long that doesn't feel right, though.
Thank you.
But, I mean, effectively, there's
If he
nothing
decides
there
to
but
do
the
that-
shell of the house.
Yeah, which is really the only thing that's from that age period, anyways. I mean, the shingles aren't. The shingles in the roof and in the windows aren't from 1850
Yeah.
to 60, anyways. So.
Well, I don't want to tell you your
Yeah.
business. You're
I
successful at
think,
it.
I think that that's the goal, was the goal in adding the foundation as well, that we're gonna add a lot of living space down there if need, if potential for it, I should say, if wanted. I mean, this is the second property I've done. I didn't do any demolition or renovation on the other one on Miles Street that we, did. So we didn't have to come before you guys, but, the same thing. It was an older home. We, just cleaned it up and we did, an additional building on the property and really tried to keep it period correct the best way possible.
Well, one final question, Madam Chairman, and that is, when you complete the foundation, the new foundation, and the structure goes on there, what will we see foundation-wise from the street?
It sounds like either red brick or native fieldstone veneer.
Or a veneer brick?
I'm leaning towards, I like the look of the fieldstones rather than the red brick. So that's what I would personally ask for. And if you said that will work for you, then that would be great.
Yeah, just so long as I think there's something there that covers
Yep.
the poured concrete.
Yep.
and if he changes his mind about a demo, he's gonna have to come back before us
Yeah,
again.
I
So
would
you're
do,
okay.
in the conditions, I would do an option for fieldstone or brick, so
Yeah.
you can decide. It
Yep.
seems like,
Yeah.
I think
And
you
no,
can-
it's not getting torn down.
Okay, well,
Any-
good luck with that.
Robin, I'm guessing you don't have any questions?
I don't.
Okay. Is the board ready to close the public hearing?
So moved.
All right, Lynn has made a motion to close. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Paul has seconded. All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none,
Brandon.
motion carries.
Opposition.
Brendan, you want to make it a trifecta?
Yes, motion to approve case number HH 202414, filing date September 6, 2024, hearing date October 16, 2024. The property address is 80 Mile Street, map 14, parcel B82. The owner, why is the owner, that's what the problem I had, the owner says Town of Harwich.
You got the wrong one. Here, take 14.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I have the right one. And it's, so applicant and owner is Sam speaking?
Oh, yeah,
There's just a
Howard.
correction on
Oh,
that,
yeah.
so that's what was thrown
All right,
out.
mine does too.
They've got
Yeah.
a
Sorry.
large loan.
Recording information BK 32666, page 38. Brief description of the work is the project proposes to raise the home and replace the foundation, windows, siding, and roof. The historical significance is listed on the town's property inventory. The proposed demolition would not destroy or substantially diminish the historic value. We are opposing no demolition delay period. The conditions, I was going to cite the material to be used. Siding, cedar siding. Roof, asphalt, roof shingle, architectural.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Asphalt architectural. Roofing. Okay,
Black windows, 2/0 with applied grills, as discussed.
are they 2/0 or 2/1?
It'd be it'll be 2/1. You threw me off with that. I don't know why I said that. I went with it. It's 2/1. I don't know why I said
I was
that.
just gonna leave the bottom open with no
Well, you
glass.
said the
Save
zero.
some money.
I wrote it down as 0, so that's funny.
2/1, so black windows, 2/1.
With applied grills.
Natural air conditioning, right?
Right.
And then foundation can either be fieldstone or red brick.
For veneer, correct.
Or veneer, correct. But you would step that back in the foundation anyways. You would step it back.
Sometimes we do a brick shelf where you can lay it on top.
Yeah, you do
with,
the
with,
exactly.
with the stone veneer, you don't necessarily have to. It would just, no matter what, it would go below grade.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so Brendan's made a motion, do we have a second?
Second the motion.
Paul has made a second. All those in favor of
Aye.
approving the application?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you very much, Sam. We will,
Thank you.
the building department will
luck.
get this in the morning.
Beautiful. Have a good night.
You too.
You as
too.
well.
That's funny.
10, 16, 20, 24. Did anybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Yes.
I would entertain a motion to approve unless people have questions or comments or changes.
Motion to approve minutes from September 18th, 2024.
Motion's been made by Brendan. Do we have a second?
Second?
Lynn has seconded. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries 4-0. We'll move on to new business, which is a presentation from Robin for the CPC article. Please come forward, state your name for the record, and show us what you have.
Well, I was going to do a PowerPoint, but I printed it out instead, so I'm going to hand it to you.
That's
Just because I
fine.
like to show pictures.
We appreciate
Worth
pictures.
1,000 words.
Thank you.
This is this year's application, correct?
Correct.
If you could just sign in and state your name for the record for the video, please.
Robin Kelly, Cemetery Administrator. So the gravestone conservation project we're doing this year is for the North Howard Cemetery. As you can see, the North Howard Cemetery is a very old cemetery. The gravestones date back to 1783. I just put in a picture of Jubal Keeley. He's one of our Revolutionary War veterans that's buried there, which I just found out when I started this
no.
application, which was unfortunate because we had already had a plaque made for the cemetery. So when we originally had the plaque made, we had 4 Revolutionary War veterans. Now we have 6 because of all the research that I've been doing for the other CPC article that I'm in the process of finishing up. Lynn's helping me with that. It's turned into quite the project. Anyways, so in the cemetery we have 16 foundations that need to be reset, 7 gravestones that have clean breaks, which are easy to set because they just happen. 9 gravestones that are broken in 2 places, 4 that are broken in 3 places, 2 that are 4 in more breaks, 5 that have pins that will need to be removed because the pins go in between the stone, and when water gets in there, they freeze and they crack the stone. So they got to pull the stone off, pull the pins out, make sure they drill out it and put material back in, and then reset the foundation. We have 62 stones that are leaning in the cemetery that are going to be required to be straightened up. If they're not straightened up, they're going to fall over and be broken before you know it. So we did get a price quote of $33,650. We put a 10% contingency fee because we did the same thing with the South Howard Meeting House. And over the wintertime, 3 of the stones that were leaning fell, so it actually ends up working out in our benefit to actually put a little bit of a cushion on there. So I just put in a couple stones so you can see them. James Baker, his stone is in 4 pieces, and you can just see the part of the stone sticking up in that picture. And then I put in William Ryder. He died in 1845. His is just in 2 pieces that I can see, but it's buried, so they'll have to dig it out and then do that. And then on the next page is the historic gravestone repair of our heritage for the Revolutionary War veterans, and it shows the 6 veterans that I've found now. When we started the Revolutionary War project, we thought we had, what, 250?
250.
We're at 450. So we have 450 Revolutionary War veterans. We have done an astronomical amount of research on all of these veterans, and I have now binders that are this thick, 5 of them, with all of their information. We're actually trying to get one of the high school students to be an intern to scan them all in for us and index them so they can put them up. So these are the list of all the leaning monuments, and I just put in a couple pictures just so you can see how some of them are leaning. I don't know if any of you have been out to the cemetery. I know Lynn has, and I know Paul has, because I am now going to be a character in
Oh,
the
nice.
This is now Mrs. Job Chase.
Oh, okay.
Hannah.
the Hannah Chase. Anyways, then I have on the next page are all the broken monuments, and you can see to the right-hand side, I just listed how many have, just need new foundations because they broke off their foundations, or if they are broken in 2 pieces, or how many pieces they are. So there's 43 monuments that are in need of repair or new foundations. So restoration of the historic gravestones. This cemetery is 241 years old. I mean, it's one of our oldest cemeteries in town, and it needs a lot of TLC. So it's, doing it and having somebody who knows what they're doing and conserving these memorials. Once they're all conserved and we can read the inscriptions better, we'll take all the photographs and then we'll write up all of the epitaphs so that we have them all. Some of them now you can't read them. We have had people going out and cleaning them, which some of them you can read, but these ones that are broken or in pieces, there's no way you can read them. So I just put a little impact on our community. It has educational opportunities. We have Civil War soldiers, Revolutionary War soldiers, World War I, World War II, and never mind people who have just done wonderful things in our town that are that are non-veterans. Culturally, we want to restore these things, raise awareness to the community of what our heritage is, and a lot of these kids are related to these people in North Howard. And I also put in that the Ghost Lantern Tours are on October 19th and October 21st. For anyone that's listening, there's still tickets available. So that, we want everyone to be involved in our community and visit these places, and we just want it to be safe for them, because it's a safety hazard when there are monuments that are leaning or broken. We don't want anyone tripping on them or anything falling on people, so I'm asking for your support as I move forward with this article.
And just to clarify for people, when you say North Howard Cemetery, 124, it's the cemetery on 124?
No.
No,
which one is it?
Depot Road.
it's on Depot and Old Main Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The
All right.
old Baptist church,
Yeah.
where the Baptist church used to be located.
Yes.
There's a church across the street.
Yes, I know where it is now. I was thinking, how far north can I go?
We have a lot of cemeteries in town.
We do. So, no, good to know. All right, so, does anybody have questions for Raman?
No, great job.
Yeah, as always, he does great work. But
I was
I do
trained-
have 2 questions.
I was trained by the best.
I do have 2 questions. One question is, the stone of Sheldon Crowell, where is that located? Do you know?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but I do have a list of the cemetery, and I
Yeah,
can get
maybe,
that to you tomorrow.
I'll call you in the morning. Sheldon Kroll, he's
Okay.
in this list here, as
Okay.
his stone is being
Yes,
repaired.
yeah.
The second question I have is that in your list of the Revolutionary War
Yeah. Veterans.
participants,
Yeah.
I'm just questioning the date here. You've got one that was born in 1766.
So,
What's the story with him? He's only
Emil-
15 when the
Right.
war's over.
right.
Right.
And I believe, wasn't he a fifer? Was he a fifer?
Is that
Yeah, he was a
right?
fifer.
Yes. Yes.
And he went in towards the end of the war.
Yeah. That was verified
He was like,
by 5 people. And he has a
he's in
huge
full-
pension file, too.
He's in.
he would have been
full
like 12
three.
years old.
Yeah.
That
I mean, maybe he's
wasn't-
a drummer or something.
No, he was, I think he was a fifer.
Fifer.
Anyway,
It wasn't that uncommon.
no further
Who's young?
questions.
Okay. So the chair would entertain a motion to support the cemetery administrator's application to Community Preservation Committee for funds in this year's round of funding.
So moved.
With enthusiasm.
Second.
So Lynn, Paul, does that mean you'd like to
That's
second?
a second, yeah.
Okay.
I still think we're gonna find one
I
or two
didn't get
more.
my script either. I didn't get my script.
I emailed it.
I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I checked again. I checked
it was
twice.
attached. I know. Let me look.
All set?
I didn't want that.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robin.
Great work, thank you. Really easy.
You're right, it didn't go through.
There's her application.
Take care of that when I get home.
All right, the next, any updates from members? The only update I can tell you is that CPC applications were due October 1st. We received them. I'm not sure the amounts requested. I haven't, to be honest, haven't taken a look at them yet. We will start looking at those, looking at the amounts of funding we have available and looking at those applications starting probably in the next month or so.
Excellent.
We typically vote in the February range. We have asked for the town to look at the funding we have available to try and reconcile the amounts to give us a number ahead of time. So we
Is
were
that
working
number
on.
made public?
It is.
It is.
It is. So we typically, the last 2 years, just because of the late, some of the late certifications, we've kind of gone with some, what we believed were conservative estimates of numbers. So I'm not sure what that number is going to be yet this year, but we shall see. We typically get, we get 3% on our tax bills, on a tax levy, plus plus some money from state funding. So, so once we know that number, we can let you know. We usually run $2.5 to $3 million on expenditures. So I'm not sure if we'll have that much money this year or not, but more to come as soon as, at the next meeting, I can give you an update on what we really have for applications. As I said, to be honest, have not had an opportunity to look at them yet. We did receive a letter from, does anybody else have any updates?
No, I'm good.
Okay. We did receive a communication from Mass Historical, talking about the round of, next year's round of funding for the survey and planning grant. Applicants include local historical commissions, historic district commissions, and municipal planning offices. I don't know that we are in a position right at the moment to apply for funds to seek a survey and planning grant. These applications are due by Friday, November 15th. So I know I do not have bandwidth to look at it between then and now. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts. We had tried to apply for one last year and we didn't make the round of funding, so.
What did we try for last year?
I think we had asked for funds to do a survey for some of the historic monuments. And as I recall, we were not successful in that one. So I think perhaps we should, if we're gonna think about it, we should probably think about it before this letter comes out, because by the time the letter comes out and we get to looking at it, we're a little bit behind the eight ball.
Maybe next summer, we can nail down something.
Yeah,
that we
not a bad
wanna
idea.
do and start laying it out.
Yeah, not a bad idea. And there are different grants in different years too, so, with different eligibilities. Anything anybody wants to see on our next agenda?
The date has been pushed back or something from last month?
So let me look. Yes, because.
It's like the 26th now or something, Rachel said?
Yes, because our third Wednesday is the 20th, and I'm unavailable, so I don't think we were gonna have a quorum on the 20th.
And I wouldn't be able to be there either.
Yeah,
So
and I
we're
think that was.
talking.
So we're talking, I think we had looked at Tuesday, the 26th,
26th.
which is Thanksgiving week, but it's the Tuesday of Thanksgiving instead of a
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
I could probably do Zoom.
Okay,
That would
we
still
sh-
work, yeah. That works. For
yeah,
quorum.
and we should be able to do that.
You just have to notify beforehand, right?
Right, we have to, we just have to dot our i's and cross our t's, so that you can be in through via Zoom. So I will reach out.
I did note this afternoon, Madam Chairman, that passing along Bank Street, that the gentleman that was doing Ted Hunt's home has now placed the veneer brick
Yes.
on the foundation.
Yes.
I was very excited.
Yeah,
Yep.
it looks good. Looks good.
It does look good.
It did, yeah, the house came
I mean, it
together.
makes all the difference.
I have not come up Bank Street in quite a while, so I
Yeah,
admit
well,
freely
you
that I have
must
not
pass.
noticed.
It's worth the price.
That's why we're here.
That's right.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I will say the last time I was on Bank Street, I was very pleased with the look of the original fire station. So
Yes,
with the
that's
museum,
coming along.
Looks fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
they're doing a good job. It looks wonderful. Hopefully it will bring some positive energy to that site. And once
Yeah,
the loop is completed with the Coldbrook restoration by
yeah.
the Harwich Conservation Trust, it should be a nice
Yeah, it's a good
nice area.
Very good. I always look when speaking of your town of Yarmouth, crossing through there the other day, I went the back road down
God
where
bless
all-
you trying to
You
get
have
around
to.
those.
and past the Yarmouth Fire Department, and I remember years ago when we used to play baseball there, and
At the old fire station
old-
on Old Main Street?
but the fire station it hasn't changed in
No, it
60,
hasn't.
and we're putting up all these monstrosities of public safety buildings and
Well-
and here's Yarmouth. And somehow they've gotten by with one station.
No,
there. I mean, not one, they have
no.
more than one.
Right.
But that old station is
Yeah.
still functioning.
That station, there's a small station on 6A right across from the Congregational Church.
Yeah.
And then there is one on Buck Island. at the end of
That's
Buck
a big
Island,
Okay.
almost across, that is the big monstrosity that you would refer to.
But
On Buck Island
that
across
that
from
one
the-
is still standing
It
and
is.
functioning is
It is.
amazing.
It
Anyway.
certainly is. It's a lovely area too.
Yeah, it's a
And-
great street.
That's where my family doctor was growing
Yeah.
up.
One of my friends grew up on the corner of Wing Ave and Old Main Street, and my mom and her sister and her brother bought a house in Yarmouth back in the 50s off of like Wilfin, so some like one block off of
Main Street?
one block
Old
off
Main?
of South Shore Drive.
Oh.
So that was Old Main Street was the only stretch I ever drove in Yarmouth.
Yeah,
It was
that
going
was
from my
nice,
house in
yeah,
West
yeah.
Harwich, across the Bass River Bridge, take a hard left,
That's right.
I gotta
go to
say,
my aunt's house.
though, the old house that they've been fixing up for the last couple of years, that they raised and put the new foundation in, that house looks great, and I keep looking at it going, that's the way they should be done. That
Yeah.
we need to keep in mind when
Yeah.
people want to do something here.
It's,
You know, just a comment, but I cannot believe, I'm still puzzled by Sam Speakman's plan here. Did you guys check the site out, and did it shock you to, I mean, everything's been leveled on the property.
Yeah.
He's already got the materials in there to jack up the house and so forth. And, I mean, I was of the opinion that he's just gonna come in and he's only kept the structure up there because he couldn't demolish it until he got the approval. But he's not
not what
gonna
he's asking for.
demolish it. I mean, it's crazy.
that's not what he's asking for,
Yeah,
so we'll
that's what
take
I was
it.
asking
And he didn't on the last one that he did. He said they did one on
Same
Miles.
thing?
Yep.
for. Yeah.
Holy cow,
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
lot of work.
I don't
It's
see how
saving all the
economically it makes any, he's got everything cleared, go
We
in
like
there,
it when
put in
people
a-
come and do
That's
that.
what they're supposed to do.
We like it when they do that, Mr.
Little
Dolan.
house
Please
on Chatham
this.
Road, that
Well, I did it
really
at my
looks
house.
horrible, that they've totally redone.
My house on
It's
124.
fantastic.
I remodeled that in place.
But the house wasn't looking like that.
My
I mean,
house is
that
pretty
looks
bad.
like something I saw in Vietnam.
My house was so bad that someone called the police because they thought it was a hazard, a safety issue. So the building commissioner came down
Yeah.
and the police. 'Cause they
Nice.
thought the structure was unsafe. So I saved that building.
No, that little old house on Chatham Road that was condemned, that the guy came in and said, no, I'm gonna restore it correctly. He's done a wonderful job, and that
The one
was
at Chatham
falling
Road's-
apart.
But I don't see this as some nice structure that can be returned to some grandeur.
Well, we
It's
hope,
Well,
he's planning on doing it, so.
Okay.
You have to read our charge again.
have we,
You're missing it.
have we adjourned yet?
We have not. The chair would
Motion-
entertain a motion to
More
adjourn.
power.
Yes. Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, we are adjourned at 6:58 PM.
Great.
Thanks, Lynn.